testing 1 2 3. Beginning 3 2 1 mark. Hello there. Welcome back. It's been quite a while since we've done this. Apologies if I sound different. I'm in a new house in which there's different acoustics and whatnot, and I've been having mic issues, so I hope none of that shows up. Yes, welcome back, dear viewers. This time it's just me and my dear friend here, Triton. So, yeah, I guess today's a bit of a more somber, but also a little, but hopeful also episode. If you've watched our previous works, I believe we've put out the episodes. There's been some scheduling issues on that, but we were involved in the planning for LegendsCon 2, which was planned to be in this March. Unfortunately, issues arose, and it was, well, canceled. However, can't say too much. All I'm gonna say is there is a new hope. Ahahaha, wink, 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 nudge, nudge.
You just leave them with that. Well, that's kind of how everybody's feeling right now, is that it's kind of like, the end of the Revenge of the Sith, and stuff has gone very bad for the Jedi Order, and now there is a scramble to basically save and salvage everything that was. But it is true about that. The forces of good are not down and out. The forces of good are still plodding along, and so there is a new hope that's on its way. But we're just going to have to get to that reschedule. And if it does happen, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it. But we've been given direction to just go ahead and continue as if it has been rescheduled, because according to my knowledge, the guests are all still very happy and they understand. And this strictly is a point of sales. So that is the reason why LegendsCon 2 was canceled, is that we did not make the sales that we had to make. And everybody is rather upset that it was canceled, and rightly so, because it was supposed to be a lot of fun. We had a huge guest list. There was a lot of extra stuff planned that we can't divulge, and that's also the reason why, if you were listening to our channel, and when we had come out with the announcement of LegendsCon 2 and our involvement back in September, I think it was, we were very excited to continue to put out more and more information about what we were doing, but our guidelines were specified. And so we had, so many broadcasts that we were going to put out, but that had to be on the timeline of what Legends Consortium wanted to do. And Legends Consortium obviously is the company that we work for, and that's, what we have to do is do what we're told. So, regardless of all of that, the ticket sales were not made, and that is just a factor of probably just the dynamics of the whole situation, right? Like, it's, expensive for people to get a plane ticket and to make that kind of a decision, parting with your cash, and then all of the money would cost to buy a ticket and then get down there and room and board and all that stuff. So, yeah, there is a
lot of factors.
A lot of factors, a whole lot of factors, which is the reason why people were saying when the announcement came out that it had been canceled, they were saying, "Oh man, like I was just about to buy a ticket," or "That's a darn shame," or blah blah blah. Everybody was thinking that they had time to be a part of this, and unfortunately, that's just not it's not the guidelines we were given by the venue. The venue specified that so many ticket sales had to be made by a certain date in order for the convention to go forward, and we just didn't have it by that time. Now, moving forward, according to our boss, Kyle Rawlings, Legends Consortium owner, we're going to be asking people, please, 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 if this relaunches, buy your tickets immediately, because that's going to be how this is able to go forward, is that we all have to gather around and really decide if this is something that we want. And my challenge to everybody would be this: you've got one life, and what you do with your life is up to you. But if you love Star Wars, and you love all of the content that you grew up with, and you love Star Wars right now, and even if it's Disney, that's love Star Wars. If you love Star Wars, this is how you get to enjoy that on a deeper level that you may not have experienced before. Now, being a unofficial member of the Mandalorian Mercs, I can attest to just what that means to be a member of a community that's within this genre, and to have people care about you and be able to go meet them and eat with them and walk with them and play with them and all this kind of stuff, build stuff, whatever you want to do, you find these kind of people, and they're all over the country, and that is what the goal of this is we want to deepen that community and have everybody support each other. And so it starts with having fun within what we're doing, and that is like what the whole entire point behind Legends Con was. It's a celebration of all of the work that has gone into the thing that we love, and we were all going to go there and just have a party. But you know, guys, this is just how it works. We have to be able to fund these kind of things. So if you want to have fun, if you want to be a part of this community on a deeper level, go have these adventures. And it's an adventure. Like when I went up with you to, what was the first convention we went to, Awesome Con? Like that was
yep, up in DC.
That was insane. I had never been to a convention before. Like I've been to small fairs and stuff, but nothing of that level. And like all the stuff that was supposed to happen at Legends Con, and that's all Star Wars related. I mean, Awesome Con was cool, but like the coolest part I thought was your booth, like the Mandalorian merch, because it was just Star, like, and then the guys right next to you, the Saber Guild. So to know that there's a,
I'll throw up a video of what it looked like there. But yeah, no, I mean, I see what you're getting at. See, yeah, because the thing that I'm sure I've spoken of this before, both on our channel and on your podcast over on Mandalore's channel and whatnot. Like the great thing about you know, not to be gatekeeper or whatever, like, but like in this, what I'm trying to say is there are people who are Star Wars fans. It's like sure, yeah, I will never claim that somebody isn't a quote unquote real fan or whatever, but like there's levels of hardcoreness, right? When you and the thing is, if somebody says they're a fan of EU Legends, whatever you want to call it, that means that has a certain level of hardcoreness, which is like, which I instantly, on a personal level, I instantly feel a connection. It's like, okay, we're definitely gonna get along. Because it's like, you know, there's that shared, obviously, there's always a shared thing of like, you know, oh, you like Star Wars, cool. But if somebody's like, yeah, you know, I prefer the Revenge of the Sith novelization to the actual movie, it's like, my man. It's like that sort of thing. So that was what I, honestly, you know, besides just, you know, meeting the authors and whatnot, which is a huge honor. I just want to, get more in contact with other like-minded people of that sort, because, like, you know, everybody I've met in the Beta Universe, you know, YouTube community, be it like, you know, I've collaborated obviously with Mandalore. He's a great friend of mine. You know, I've met a decent handful of. Everybody seems to be just great people. It's like there's I'm rambling. I suppose that's what I do, right? So that's what we do.
No, you're on point.
Right. No. Yeah. No. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah. Let's be brutally honest. We're a niche subset of a niche subset of, yes, the biggest fandom in the world, arguably, but it's not a huge amount of people. But the great thing about it is that, you know, everybody's hardcore. I guess that's the word I was looking for. I used it before. And so I really look forward to any future in-person thing. Because I mean, yes, there are online communities and whatnot, but there's a certain je ne sais quoi to really meeting like-minded, obsessive weirdos like me IRL.
Yes, I mean, we're weirdos, but I think everybody is weird, right? Like, everybody wants to lick something,
Sure, to a
I
certain
guess
degree.
is the way I heard it on Bob's Burgers. Everybody's got to lick something. So, like, we're all weird. So, the whole entire part where you're like, you want to be.
From a certain point of view.
But then, okay, so from the point of view of that we are separated by distance and time as a community is a reason why that we should want to get together. And I guess I'll put it as plainly as possible. Like we spend time watching each other, right, on YouTube, and we spend time studying these people and these facts of the lore and all of the stories and the history. And we do this obsessively. And all we yearn for is to be a part of that galaxy. So that's why we find other people that are like us, because you're right. You're like, you meet somebody who dresses up in armor and carries a lightsaber, and it's like, I connect with you. You are one with me. And like, so I want to spend time with you. And even if that's going and getting a dinner or, sitting there and playing a video game, whatever. But I mean, that's what we do. We live 5-6 hours apart. And so, but we have this relationship, and it's across time and everything like that, but we care because we have this commonality that's gone further than that. And like, that's everybody within the fandom. And you say niche, and yes, I agree that like out of all of the media out there, Star Wars is probably a niche, right? But yet at the same time, I would be very interested to know one person across the globe that's never heard the name of Star Wars. And so it's kind of like, being the United States citizen. Like if you say I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or I'm an independent, like I'm a subset of an American. I'm a niche American. No, you're not. You're an American. And so if you're a Star Wars fan, you're naturally already attached to the content that we're talking about. Even though it may not be canon, it's where all of the content comes from. And yes, some of it's new. Stories are born anew and all that kind of stuff. But everything that's in Disney's canon right now, to a degree, comes from Legends. And so you as a fan should know it, should want to see it, and where it comes from. It's kind of like knowing your U.S. history. Like if you don't know your country's history, do you know anything? Are you a fan at all? And it's not like, an insult. It's just there's a deeper world. Go deeper. And then there are the people, and you don't have to go out of your way to meet people like this necessarily. But if you can, do it. But then a lot of times the people just go out of their way to meet you, right? Like, so you could just want to go to a convention and see what it's all about. And you're just going to meet people that are just filled with life. Like, they're just going to come up to you and just be like, hi, like, wow, you look amazing, blah, 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 blah. And they're not going to be creepy. They're genuine. They're genuine people who want to, have fun and live life and go on adventures. And what better way to do that than with other people that are just like you? So, and I'm like, you don't have to be just like everybody, but it is really nice when you're around other people that are enjoy the stuff you do. It just makes it them. That's what life is. I don't know what else to say. So, yeah, you're on point with all that. But I don't think that people should look at it like, yeah, it's a niche thing. So therefore, it's.
No. I mean, in some ways, that's a good thing, as I've said.
Well, it is a good thing because the people that are able to enjoy their time in freedom and be able to travel and stuff like that are the people that grew up on this stuff. And so, like, I don't know. Do you feel like when you're an older guy, do you feel like you're still not going to be adventurous? I mean, I know life starts to cripple after a while. That's what it does. But I mean, do you just feel like you wouldn't want to travel and go to a Star Wars convention when you're 60?
Well, I
guess we're not 60 yet, so I don't.
I'm different to most people, but yeah, in regards to traveling. But yes, no, I mean, I'm probably stuck with my Mando works and whatever for life. I'm Yeah, are we talking about?
Oh, I'm just talking about like I don't
Sorry. A lot of there's a lot of different
emotions.
trails of conversation. Yes. So conventions they've been a thing since like nerd conventions have been a thing since like the 50s to my understanding, right? So, but I do like how there have been more and more specific ones recently. Well, I say recently, but because like I know I think Transformers they have their BotCon. There's and well yeah Star Wars has their official one, which is of course Star Wars Celebration. But I'm just there was the first Legends Con, and now I guess I'm glad for the larger reach now. I guess the reach for niche stuff. That's what I say, because like was the first con after Dragon Con? I don't know.
Are you trying to
like I've heard ancient tales of like ancient like like in the 70s there'd be like people like selling their like Star Trek fan fictions at cons and whatever. It's like that's so funny to me. Wow, I keep trailing in so many different directions. But no, sorry, I'm a bit sick. Yeah, I guess simplify. Yeah, I'm just glad for a new space for this specific niche area, right?
I mean, I think it's going to be the future of what we enjoy as media, right? Think about it for a minute. Like,
what do you mean?
Well, how often do you watch TV a lot? So, like at night, I'll come home from work and I'll do whatever I got to do to like end out my day, and then usually me and my wife will pick some kind of content to watch, some kind of show or whatever, because we both enjoy analyzing TV, and it's just a thing. I don't know what it is. It's complex. So, we sit there and we flip through all of these, just all these different titles, and you just can't pick anything. And it's like it's not that you don't want to watch something. It's just I don't. It's all the same. It's the same actors, all this kind of stuff. And I love Hollywood, right? But at the same time, I'm losing it's losing its luster for me. It was so much more. I was willing to spend vacation days and hard-earned cash to drive up and be a part of the Mandalorian Mercs for a literally 10-hour drive, to just be there for like 3 to 4 hours, just because I felt so at home with that group of people. And we had fun, we were making stuff, we watched stuff, we ate food. It was just, that was all of my work for the week. I was just waiting for that moment because I had already been there, and I was so shocked by how much fun that you could have with other people. And maybe that's something that is changing about our society. Like, we've been so plugged into TV that history repeats itself, and now we're starting to lean towards the older ways of socializing with people, which is more flesh to flesh, talking in person, interacting, all that kind of stuff. So my thought is that is going to be the future of what people consider to be fun, because it really is hard to go to Disneyland. It's really hard to go to a park or something like but if it's a local thing, right, and it's more spread out and it's more continuous, and it's something that everybody can find a way to be a part of it, it almost, is that not what our ancestors did? So, like, and they did. They worked. They enjoyed life.
That's where all the stories came, right? You probably Book of Gilgamesh or whatever probably came sitting around a fire, right, telling about.
Well, I think that's going to be it, man. I think that's why this stuff is.
I'd like that to be what you're saying to be the case. You're more of an optimist. I'm more of a pessimist. But with I'd like that what you're saying to be the case. We do need something is lost without actual in-person interaction. Like it's
the remoteness.
it's quite possible future is going to be, you know, the whole Wall-E situation. We'll be on screens while looking at each other while sitting next to each other, but regardless.
It is not only a way for people to actually enjoy life more, and I'm sorry to say this, but life is not all doom and gloom. Yeah, life is full of trial, but it is, for the most part, a very beautiful life. And so that is something that you should enjoy about life, is that if you can find a place to do this kind of stuff, do it, because you have a whole new experience, and who knows all the stuff that can come out of that that'll affect you and make your life all the more wonderful. But, you know, you're sitting there and saying that, oh shoot, I'm losing my train of thought as well. No, I had a great thought there to follow up, and I've lost it. That's probably what I get from driving.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
It'll come back as soon as I don't want it to.
Quite possible. But yeah, no. I guess, yeah, just reiterating from the beginning. Yeah, shame that, you know, the recent thing was canceled, but can't say too much. I say again, there is a new hope. Bah, ha, 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 nudge, nudge, wink, wink, wink. Well, yeah, ha, ha. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Oh, I remember.
Oh?
Yes. Okay, so to go along with that, all right, this whole entire idea of the community, like, getting together, like, that's good for you as a person, right? But if the companies, right, the publishers of this content, these media, if they would come forward and they would support this stuff as well, I mean, that's my point. Like, if you're a Mandalorian fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, all this kind of stuff, you are just so much more geared towards trying content, talking about content, discussing content, all this kind of stuff. You're going to consume stuff because there's a deeper level to your relationship with it, right? Because you're on the ground, because it's something that it is interactive, personal, all that kind of stuff. It's not always remote, which I think is why media, I mean, think about this too. People used to go to the movie theaters, right? And you're saying that people, you know, this is how all of our storytelling started, people getting around the fire and all this kind of stuff. That's what our media is missing. These stories are losing their effectiveness to reach an audience because your audience is always remote. And because it's the same group of actors, which I'm not saying actors aren't brilliant and everything like that, right? And some people, but I mean, to close it off to the degree that only so many people get in, and, you know, there's this big list of things that have to be done even for you to be, that's the wrong way to go about it. And it'll form itself naturally. And YouTube is a huge, I guess, proof of that, right? So, you know, how many people are actually watching YouTube as opposed to even turning on their TV? Lots of people.
A lot.
Oh yeah. So, and they know it, and that's why you get a message or commercial saying, you know, if this content goes away, wouldn't that be terrible? I mean, these are big publishers saying all this kind of stuff. So it's like, all right, well, if that's the case, if you guys are saying that, you guys know it. So it's time to switch gears. It's time to give people what they want. And a lot of that is more access to things that they haven't had before, or to revise and to give people what they want that they had before and now they want again. And so I mean, I don't know, man. It's a business. People want to enjoy stuff. They're willing to pay for creation. So give the people what they want. And I really do think that's what we're trying to do. Like, at the end of the day, like, we are trying to give people what they want. And if that's the people who created, if that's the people who enjoy the creation, however it goes, like, we want to give people what they want, because we're artists, we're performers. We enjoy doing that and having people enjoy it in return. That is the reason. I'll say this as an artist. It's an insane profession, because you are forced to not only just have a job, have a family, live. But then there's this burning thing inside you that says, I gotta create, and I have to make it good enough for the people that I want to enjoy it. And so that doesn't go away, and you are forced to do that kind of a thing, live that kind of a life, if you're going to stay sane. And so some people are not geared that way, and that's okay because they're geared in other ways. But for these artists that have created this content that we love, man, we got to give them what they want, which is recognition. That's why they did it. They did it because they love what they do. They had a job, and they did it to the best of their ability. And we enjoyed it. But if we let it go, just like these commercials are saying, it will be gone. It will be gone. It will be just something that floats away with time. But we're around right now. We can still put effort towards that, to stop that, to preserve it. And so, I mean, you got to find ways to get connected. And a really good way to get connected is to go have fun on the ground, in person with people. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be sitting here and saying if it is something I believe in. That is the only way I'm able to do anything that I do, is I have to believe in it. So anyway, that is my last message.
Wow, very well said. Very well spoken. Well, yeah. Not sure what else to say. Good. Well. Very good, my apprentice.
Thank you, Boston.
Well, I guess that's it for today's episode, I suppose. Yeah, thank you for listening as always, and may the force be with you always.